Jennette McCurdy is now out with a provocative new novel, Half His Age. It follows a 17-year-old girl's relationship with her much older teacher. This comes, of course, after much success of her best-selling 2022 memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. And Jennette joins us now to talk about her debut novel. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for the conversation.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start right into the book. It's two characters, the young girl, the teacher who's grooming her into this very sexual relationship. Many people feel like we've heard this story before. Teacher goes to jail. It's in headlines. But how do you feel that this story is very different?
Such a good question. This novel is less focused on the taboo itself and more so on the psychological examination of a young woman who falls into this situation and all of the contributing factors that lead her to enter into this kind of situation in the first place.
I remember reading Lolita many years ago.
Sure.
and thinking, I mean, it's obviously incredible writing and story, but you're thinking at the same time, this is a pedophile, this is a young girl, and she is very much the victim. And you have said in this book, you don't want your protagonist to be looked at as the victim. How so?
It's more so I think that she doesn't want herself to be looked at as a victim. The entire book is told through the 17-year-old's point of view, Waldo. And she thinks that that would be other people coming at her from a position of superiority and viewing her as the inferior person. So she wants to be perceived as an equal. But that's very specifically Waldo's point of view.
You've talked about how this is a novel. It is very much fiction. But you have shared before that you had creepy relationships with older men when you were...
I love the air quotes.
Yes, creepy, right?
Yeah.
Because some people would say those people were preying on you, right? That it goes beyond the level of being creepy based on your age.
Yeah.
So do you feel that there was a part of you that you channeled in this character, Waldo?
Definitely the seed of the idea came from a personal experience of mine, kind of an amalgamation of personal experiences of mine. But ultimately, you know, Waldo is entirely her own character, and this is its own story, and I really hope that people can read it as its own story. I'm aware people are going to project me onto this character, onto this novel, but I do think that would be a misread. It really is its own story.
You've talked about your own rage and anger. How much of that experience was, would you say, cathartic for you in writing and kind of putting that to paper?
Anger is so mobilizing for me. I find it so useful. I spent much of my life really suppressing it, and now I'm able to channel it effectively, I think, at writing. It's where I think I write my best work from. And this character, Waldo, is so in the same position where she's really suppressing her rage that she's feeling toward this dynamic and unable to articulate it and unable to make better choices for herself. And that's really the journey that she's on, is how can she come into contact with her rage and let it lead her to make better decisions moving forward.
I think right from, people say don't judge a book by its cover, but I think right from the cover, you grab people, right? You're up close. There's this teenage mouth, you know, with her finger in her mouth. There's a sexualization to it that I think may cause some controversy once people are actually able to read the book. You said that your own editor had suggested, maybe we tone it down a little bit. Why was it important for you to keep it really kind of thrust in your face like that?
It's such an important question. I never write anything for the sake of shock value. It's so important to me to not do that. I try to write from a place of truth. I'm pursuing truth genuinely, and I can't help it if truth is uncomfortable or shocking, which I think it oftentimes is. I think that's what makes it something truthful. Is I think it takes us off guard when we hear or read truth, and that's what I've tried to do with Half His Age.
You've said that you needed to leave acting basically because it was important in your recovery. Do you think it's something you'd ever go back to?
Potentially down the line if I wrote something for myself, but for now I'm so thrilled to be writing novels. I love Half His Age, and I actually just adapted that into a screenplay, and so that's very much more where my focus is.
Jennette, we thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. You can purchase a copy of Half His Age now wherever books are sold.